explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Okay, we're back. Ta-da! And I thought I would try just something different for Gloria. Since I have all this wool sitting around and people are doing this 2D/3D felt painting with wool, I thought, why don't I try a variation on a theme? Do watercolor and felt. So I'm going to try, we're going to need glue, of course. You can't felt it to something, but I want to see what it's going to take to maybe turn this into something here with a single needle, and then lift it up and glue it onto the paper. So collage, you know, in a word. Let's turn that over and needle that right in. I found another channel, and just the title of it, it was stabbing things to life or something. I'm stabbing things into creation. I think that was it. I did subscribe, so I will see her again. I thought, that is so funny. That's true, you are creating stuff by stabbing the hell out of it, because that's what needle felting is. So, alright, it's possible. So let's make a few of these little twirly things, or little trees. Come on, don't get too fussy. This is merino wool. It has a long staple. Which I don't necessarily need for this particular project here. Wool has a memory. Yarn with memory. Which is how yarn is made. There's a fiber with memory. And I learned when I bought my first batch of llama wool. It's so gorgeous. But it doesn't really like to felt, wet felt. It will, but it's hollow, and it does not have memory the way this has. So I'll be mixing it with wool. In fact, I need to order an ounce of dark brown wool that kind of matches it. It's been raining on and off all day. Now it's overcast. It's the end of the day. I couldn't resist doing something though. Maybe going back and forth is better. The more they dry, the more they fluff up. This is not really interesting stuff, unless you're into just sitting there and needling. back here. Oh dear. What did I do? This stuff is so light. I've dropped it, blown it, found it on my clothes. What do you want to imagine? There. Don't do that again. Perhaps. No, I don't have any, do I? Oh, we'll leave that for something down here. In the meantime, let's get this attached. use my finger, I guess. Okay, that is untouchable till tomorrow. That's for sure. When I don't want this closed, it's closed. When I want it open, it's closed. Or something like that. Get back here. There we go. Perfect. All right, we will continue and finish this tomorrow. I will be back after lunch. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be working on this with a friend. She had her first wet felting experience, and I loved helping her have that. I don't know if she'll get into it, but I gave her a couple of basic things, and now she can just do it on her own. But the project yesterday was making a friendship bowl. We called that because you make two bowls at the same time, and you exchange one of them. Well, I don't really want to cut this and make it even, so I'm going to felt it. Now that one came out cute. It's kind of like little boats. Now you can make it white outside so they go together. But I kind of like it white inside. Now how do I want to do this? Actually, we want a different needle. We want something whose name I have forgotten, but the bottom line is it's got 3 needles. And it's like a pen. This is used for thickening the felt. Maybe that does need to be cut. It's kind of high on that side, isn't it? Well, it's going to mess with the design if I do. I guess we just have to let well enough alone. But we can thicken it. So this part is done with this triple needle thing from an angle. And it's something you do methodically in rows. The more you work the felt, even if you just sat there all day playing with the edges, they will get more together. They just become more and more fabric-like. So play away. If you're one of those nervous people that needs to be messing with something all the time, this is one of those things you could do. Now, if you're a young person, what I'm going to say probably was not on your radar. But older people and science are getting more concerned about, well, how to live a happy, healthy old age. And the big concern for everyone is dementia of one kind or another. So we're always looking for ways to reduce the potential or stave it off. If you have a hereditary type, I don't know. I don't think it's actually hereditary, but we may find out different. They found that if you just sit and watch something, anything, just be passive watcher, passive observer, you're more likely to have problems later. However, if you're watching TV and doing something like this, or knitting, crocheting, doing artwork, if your brain is active at the same time you're observing, it basically protects your brain. So, activity. I guess we didn't have this problem a long time ago. I mean, some people we used to talk about, they went senile, which was, you know, dementia, a cover-all term. Because back in the old days, when you were on the farm, you didn't have a whole lot of electricity, or maybe any. You were always busy. You may be sitting there in front of the fire resting, but you're also darning clothes or weaving or knitting. You did things all the time. There was no complete rest, except for sleep. There was always something to do. Now, down south on the farm, I have to say there were days I didn't want to do a single thing either, because the heat and humidity was so bad. Yeah, you know, this is, it probably needs a piece of tape to hold this on. I don't like this. It comes off too easily. Anyway, in the south, oh, summers are hellish. They're hot. They've got high humidity. It's hard to walk or breathe. So you see a lot of people, when you have the dog days like that, you don't cook, you don't clean, you sit on your front porch if you have one, or just sit. Find some shade and try not to move. But for most of the year, there's always something. You pick the beans, you shell the beans. pick something fresh, you got to put it up. Whatever you're not going to eat right away, won't store it normally like you might for a week. You got to make it last all winter. You got to learn skills like drying and canning and pickling. One thing I never did, and I always wanted to, is fermentation. I wanted to make sauerkraut because, hey, cabbages are easy and cheap to grow. You didn't have to grow them, they were so cheap. It's like, for what I just paid, why go out there in the field? I'll plant something else. But I never did learn that because we had too many animals around. And if you're going to ferment something, it's got to be able to sit for a couple months undisturbed, other than you checking the pH and scooping off the scum that rises when it first starts fermenting. So it does need attention, but it needs to be also in a safe, cool, dark place. We did not have such a place. Every place where we lived was hot as hell and had dog and cat hair. Because, you know, you just can't keep up with all of it. Okay, well, it's feeling nice and thick there. You definitely need help right there. Oh, where is my phone? Oh, there it is. In case you say something. My tea lid. Put that where you can actually see it. Interesting. Maybe I'm going to throw a little color in there. Maybe a little of this. Hmm. No, I love those colors together. But let's get this. Uh-oh. There we go. Stay down. Hello. The best hour nap ever, huh? All right. I can't nap, it ruins my day. And hello, grandchild. How is everybody today? We had our first Tai Chi class today in the community, and we had a record turnout for exercise. I am so happy. That looks like we're going to do it once a week. Although this month, it has to be on a Thursday. And yeah, this is going to be good. Getting people out of their apartments, working on getting healthier. So, it's weekend eve. Tomorrow is Friday. I'm so happy. No, I need to thicken it up there. I'm only doing this to one bowl. Gotta get my hands on some of those air ferns, things that don't need any care. I can put an air fern in there, and I can even mail it flat in an envelope to Gloria. She just has to floof it up. Where'd you get your glasses, Gary? Your eyeglasses. And there we go. This one got the tassels still sticking on. Oh yeah, let's filk that down. I see somebody sent me a message again while I'm live. I'm gonna have to do this on the edge. Well, I think that's gonna need a piece of wool across it. There you go. Well, I'll be damned. It's stuck. Tempted to lay in my really washed. It was tempted to lay in my clean sheets, so I did. Walmart, okay. Oh, right. Oops, sorry. About making extra noise. We have this. But where's the cap for this? All right, oh, there it is, good. Good, it should. I wonder who. Aloha. Every time I buy my chicken sausages, I think of you. Because it says aloha on the box, because they're Hawaiian style. Hawaiian style. That's because it's got ginger and pineapple. Other than that, it's a chicken sausage. So I've been being way too hot at work and just giving my head a wicked rash. Yep. Dry is the only thing you can do. It should be illegal that they keep it that hot indoors when you have to work. It's cruelty to humans. Maybe we can do it this way. It is a world. Pam Bondi finally got fired. Now we gotta see what they got. Who's worse than her? They don't have any qualified people to work in the government. They're all a bunch of assholes. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing, except when it comes to stealing money. But anyway, no politics. I'm in a good mood. Today was Food Box Day. And our first Tai Chi class, which for some reason, probably because I was looking for the videos, they think I'm leading. But it's like, no, we're going to YouTube and having YouTube lead us. Well, Gary, there is one problem with using cornstarch. One, at first it's good, but it also is a carbohydrate that feeds yeast. So if you have a yeast infection, it's going to end up being worse. Your safest bet is regular talc without fragrance if you can get it, also known as baby powder. Well, no, you don't want to share your ass problem. That's a little too much information for your bosses. But letting them know that you're starting to develop heat rashes, that's all you gotta say, you're getting heat rashes. But in truth, what do you think they're actually going to do about it? They need to turn the AC up, and that ain't likely to happen with those people. She who is a moron. The president last night blaming people for not giving him the right info. Yeah. Well, they tried to guide him away from doing certain things, but he did have Pete Hegseth and Stephen Miller, who are both deeply racist, misogynistic, and warmongers, whispering in his ear. So did he get the right information? Not likely. Does he give a shit? No. If he gave a shit, he would have expressed regret for targeting a children's school with the very first Tomahawk missile that's equipped with a camera to see exactly what they're shooting. So, no. He doesn't get out of jail free except by dying. And that's what'll happen. He'll never serve time because he won't live long enough. Trump was Putin's wet dream. The perfect idiot to manipulate into destroying America, selling its secrets, giving away everything America. And so Putin's helping Iran. But Trump lifted the sanctions from Russia. Okay, we got one moron after another. Who's giving him advice? He doesn't know. He's looking at the stock market and just hoping that it goes up. Yep. Oh, he's definitely... Not that America has ever been innocent, because it isn't. But I would say that the good thing about Trump and this administration is they showed America and the world all our flaws, all our weaknesses, all our stupidity. We've done that better than any other country in the world. So, unless he drops dead tomorrow, expect that the next stage is going to be, well, where he's bankrupting our country. So, depression. If you don't know how to cook for yourself, you're dead. The supply lines are already collapsing. I just put in my grocery order. It was more than $50 more than normal for the same shit. More than $50 for one trip. For people like us, we can't afford that. We can't afford groceries being $50 more when they're already too high. So, I'm just going to say what I've been saying since he got elected. You know, I ran into somebody when I got my blood work done. And boy, it's a good thing they sucked some of the blood out of me because it was boiling. She said that to me, literally every insane Fox talking point about the Obamas, tried to defend Trump. She claims she used to be a Democrat. It's like, by accident maybe, because your attitude is completely racist and misogynistic and, you know, dumb. I didn't say dumb, but the racism was right out there without using the N-word. Basically, that's what she was saying. Like, why should she have any respect for Michelle Obama? She's not a real human. She's not a real woman. She had a sex change operation. I'm sure then the 2 live births would have been quite a surprise to the doctors who delivered her babies. Or maybe these people are stupid enough to think that a sex change operation from man to woman includes a womb. They're stupid enough to believe that, so it's possible they believe all this other stuff. But I figured by now, I guess, you know, part of me is a little naive or wants to be. I thought by now some of that stuff was already like, are you still talking about that? If I can, I might have to pick up my ukulele and play this one. That's a good idea. You haven't mentioned the uke in a while. Now, our job is advanced humans. Our job is to stay focused on that which we desire, not which we don't want. Don't worry, because karma comes to all, since karma just means action, and it's the results of your actions that you'll see. Your choices, that's where brings you to where you are today. Momentum. Momentum that's been going on since you were born and before. So what do we want? What makes you happy? You have to get in touch with what makes you happy. And you can't be vague about it, about what makes you happy. You've got to be able to feel happy without there being something in front of you making you feel happy. Like being in love. You can't get love if you can't feel love. Oh, somebody may, you know, become slightly infatuated with you now and then. But if you want the real deal, you have to know what it feels like in you. So practicing the feeling of being in love is one of the best things you can do if you want love in your life. Now, Maui, you just had all your seeds stolen right from your little shed. Bondi was... No, I didn't say that. You missed half the conversation, buddy. I was talking to a woman at the lab when I got my blood taken the other day, and this woman, a patient there, was insisting that Michelle Obama was really a man and President Obama was a homosexual. Of course, that was before Kristi Noem's husband was found with the big boobs. Oh, God, you know, that was on Fox News, so I'm sure that the woman that I tangled with who was trying to defend Trump to me, I bet she had to double take that one. Of course. But you know what? If Bondi's done, Patel is next. And he deserves to go. Like, they completely botched the Charlie Kirk investigation. And his widow is discouraging an investigation. She forgives her husband's murderer. That was quick. Forgives him, because that's what a good Christian does. And she's just been grifting off of, you know, what Charlie left behind. I mean, she doesn't have to be too unhappy. She made $12 million right after he died. But she's discouraging an investigation because it turns out the bullet that he was killed with does not match the firearm of the guy they arrested for the murder. I wonder what happened there. So let them eat themselves alive. The rats are leaving the sinking ship. Or getting thrown out because, you know, not because of their incompetence, but because they keep getting stuck in scandals. Gary, didn't you see that news article about Kristi Noem's husband? It's freaking hilarious. He's into big boobs, his own. So he's got pictures of him trying to be a woman. The Trump administration was not happy about that, as you can imagine. Well, I think it's freaking hilarious. I would not shame somebody for their kink, you know, whatever you're into, you're into. It's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy, you know. The same people getting caught are the same people that have been doing everything to undermine trans and gay rights. That's the problem. It's not that they want to have big boobs or dress up like a woman, because that's what you want to do. Go ahead. Ain't no skin off my back. Now, Gary, you should see him. Those are some big boobs that guy likes. I mean, my stepmother and her sisters, well, two of them, had the great misfortune of having gigantic boobs. They hated it. Because you know what happens. Well, you don't know you're a man, but women are judged harshly for having large chests. We are called whores and sluts without ever losing our virginity. It's never the right thing for the man. It's never enough, or it's not enough. It's either they're too big or they're too small or whatever, but my stepmother and her sister did everything to hide their chest because it was huge, and they developed early, so it was very embarrassing for them to have large chests. When I was their age as a child, I did not have that problem. It was quite the opposite. Okay, this must have been too twisted. It doesn't want to felt that way. That is a pretty pink. I'm going to get to use it in the next purse. I've been collecting everything I need for the next pocketbook. Oh, there you go, Gary. Right, the cartilage that mysteriously grew back on that one old man, and that when it never does on anything else on the planet. Now, I would feel bad for that guy. I would. Mr. Noam has the right to live however he wants, but he's a dick in real life. And he's done terrible things to real people in real life. So, fuck him. I don't care if he walks around naked, as long as it's not in front of children who don't want to see that. Hey, I love art. I mean, and I love drag. But I don't think he was trying to make a drag show for himself. I don't think that was what was going on with him. He's just another rich hypocrite. And that's what bothers us. Not that he does that, but he doesn't want anybody else to do it. Was that you, Maui? You sent me a video. Okay, I'll have to look at it later. Okay, so what do we want to see? Like, when we wake up tomorrow morning, what do we want the headlines to say? Let's write a headline for tomorrow. Not predicting one with the idiots that are in charge, because that's too easy. We want to not predict, we want to create, like it's a different timeline. Right? What do we want to see when we get up? Like I said, I always prep myself for I want to wake up and see evidence of people of goodness in the world. I want to wake up and see evidence of people defending democracy, and I want to see wins for democracy. If I say that at night, and when I wake up, well, I'll go right to my phone, but except to say good morning to Rich. I see evidence. We are not a horrible world. We have politicians that want to scare us and make us feel bad and terrified of things, but it's a really beautiful world if we stop freaking each other up. Wait, I just knew anyone could. Yeah, I know, right? I'm not gay, but I've got gaydar. And I'm gonna guess because years ago I was completely oblivious But then it started getting pointed out to me by my gay friends that they were gay and there was a thing of gayness. But I knew about gays. I knew my brother was gay. Um, and later on, but I was already acquainted with all that stuff by the time my sister had a gay daughter and married a gay man and all that. The world finds out that Doc on Maui is a god. Damn straight. Honey, we are all projections, creations of, and by. It's just everybody's got to get in each other's business. You know, what I always said about gays, because people would go, did you know that he's gay? And I'd say, so? Did you want to sleep with him? What's your concern? If you're not going to sleep with him, it's none of your damn business. It doesn't affect you. And Doc, it took a cartoon movie to turn people on to the fact that there was a god named Maui. For them, it was just an island. Oh yeah, it's called Maui. We don't know why. Sounds Hawaiian. Uh-huh. And then Moana comes out, and Maui is not properly depicted. You know what's really weird? The real Maui is depicted very much like Coco Pelli. They're slender-bodied males. But the movie made him whiter than the Rock who played him. I don't know why they did that. I guess they wanted him to look more shaped like a Polynesian. Like, Gary, do you have Netflix? I have the poor people's version of Netflix. It's limited watching. You know, I can't watch everything they offer, but and I have to watch a couple commercials. But I get to watch pretty much anything I want. Overall, I don't really want to watch that much, so. But they have a, you know, the Great British Baking show. They had something you don't often see getting publicity, and that was a woman drag artist playing a guy. And after she did a bit on the Great British Baking Show, she created a new character to be like Paul Hollywood with the blue contact lenses and everything. Is like, she did a great job. She was also a really good baker. I might try to get a little too fine here. I'm glad I did it. Oh my darling. Hmm. guess we're going to find out if this is enough or not. Hello. Well, I guess we can put some purple down there. Why not, right? I don't think I have any black on the board. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think you told me. That's right. You do watch that. I like the cooking shows, which I can't say I watch like a hawk, because they skip a lot of steps really. So it's not like a teaching experience, but what I love about watching some like the leftover show, making the perfect snack, something like that. They're cooking in terms of, well, they're competing, but I get ideas because they'll say this goes with that. Basically, it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And thanks to them, I've come up with my own stuff that wasn't imitative, but because they kind of opened up my mind to combinations. And that's how I made my neighbor, when I made her that special chicken soup, she was boasting about carrying on downstairs with a bunch of people. Like, I made the best chicken soup she ever had in her entire life. To have somebody who is from an Italian family, 100%, she moved here from Italy when she was little, she knows good food. And so, yes, huge compliment to me. Yesterday's animation. Beyond, oh my God. From where? I don't watch anything violent, but it sounds like very Trumpian. I don't want my psyche being disturbed, and anything you put into your head, your subconscious mind treats it as if it was real, which is the problem. So it's like once it's observed, it becomes part of you. So that's why I'm so careful about what I watch. I don't want the ghosts of crap, especially something that wasn't mine, somebody else's invention of horror. I know a lot of people get off on it, and I've just never been that kind. Yeah, I only watch positive things, and it's a really important thing for your own brain that you'd never, never, never watch something bad before bed. The last thing you put in your head when you go to bed needs to be uplifting, positive, peaceful, anything but violent or political. Nothing that's going to disturb you, because it'll be in your dreams. It'll become solidified in your physical body. You don't want that. I have a friend, well, I've got friends all over the country, and we have different time zones, and I had to remind a friend of mine in Arizona, because her time doesn't change the way ours does on this side of the country. I had a reminder at bedtime because when she's getting comfortable to relax, that's when she sends me stuff to look at. But that's when I'm already in bed because I'm later than her. And I had to tell her, don't send me anything ugly, violent, nothing about death or nothing like that. I'm going to bed. My head's got to be in a good place. I won't accept anything less because I want to wake up in a good mood and positive. Ah. Wow. Well, I figured there was going to be things like that happening on the island. A lot of people go to Hawaii specifically because they can't afford housing, and there's no safe place to sleep where they won't freeze to death at night. Okay, you need to go back down there. You're not sticking. Stick, 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 stick. Yeah, the problem with having homeless people around is not that they're homeless. You don't know them. Most people are homeless through no fault of their own. One missed paycheck and most Americans will end up on the street. A lot of people who were homeless owned houses and then fell behind one mortgage payment too many, and that's the end of their lives. Oh man. Yep. That's gotta be, you gotta be right there and go, no, no. See this again? I'm gonna have to get mean to protect my stuff. That is one of the problems. Now see, not every garden. New London is a very, usually people carry on about, oh, the crime in New London, but New London has had a public garden for a while without any problems. It's there so that people can join in, they can participate, they can get food, and nobody does it in. But the owners of this property have a different point of view, and they won't let us even try to have a garden because they're afraid it's going to be like what happened to one of the properties in Boston, apparently. Ah, yep. Well, are you going to be hunting tonight? Women have it especially rough if they're homeless because you know how vulnerable we are. And because we're homeless, the police don't care if you get raped or stabbed. Yeah. You know, I understand the habit of smoking because I had it. But the smell is so disgusting. And the cigarette butts are poisonous to the property. So yeah, I don't like to see them around. I don't want to see them around. Birds get poisoned because hungry birds will grab them and swallow them before they even realize what they're doing. It broke my heart to see National Geographic's expose of the plastics that was killing the marine birds. They had them out on the shore cut open so you could see that they were solid plastic, all these different colored pieces of plastic. In their hunger, they just picked at anything that looked like food, and they couldn't digest it, and it didn't go out of their bodies. It just sat there, and basically they starved to death while being full. Animals get desperate too. And it's hard to get work if you don't have an address or a phone. And I remember when I was first looking for a job, and I was only 17. Well, of course, nobody wanted to take any chances and hire somebody under 18 anyway. But the big problem was it didn't matter whether I lied or not. I had no way for them to contact me to tell me if I got the job or not. No phone. And my address, when I first started out, was in a tenement that was condemned. So people saw that as that building didn't even exist, although it did. There were a bunch of us who were homeless who lived in there in the winter. Luckily, I turned 18 and I got a job. But it's hard. All right. Let's see how this did. We need more glue. That'll work. But I'll probably have to do it this way. All right. It'd be good if we had something. that would look like little flowers. I don't think I have anything, actually, yet. I have more cool looking fibers coming in over the next couple of weeks. I saw the coolest thing today for felting, wet felting. It's one of these, but it's ridged. So it's just like, you know what a waffle iron looks like? It looks like a waffle iron, except like this. So it does a superior job of felting. And it's like, okay, I have to find something like this. I briefly looked on, you know, Temu. But I'm trying not to go crazy this month because I went crazy last month, and I need to basically put the money back in the bank that I overspent. You know, I paid all my bills and all that, but a little overboard in the savings. Oh yeah, you can definitely feel the difference. This feels way sturdier now that I have given it some extra felting with the triple needle. And put some in the bottom here. Now, one of the cool things that you can do with felt is you can make a blanket. If you want to make a heavy wool blanket or a light one, you can make patches like a patchwork quilt. And then felt them together to be a quilt, the same way you would do granny squares. So I could combine these. I could felt these together. Not that. And make more and felt all of it together like a blanket. Although that's not what these are for. This is a very different, these are different things going on here. This was needle felted, and it has to be ironed and then cut to turn it into a lily, which I'm not going to do because I don't need another lily. One's enough. And this was actually a test to make sure that this would felt, because I was afraid it was actually a synthetic. It came with my pink one that turned out to be synthetic for totally for sure. Like totally. It was terrible. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. All right. Something to mail to Gloria and explain what this is about. Because she used to sew all of her own gowns. She was a singer in the church. But they did big deals, you know, all these conferences people have to compete with their choirs and all that. So she did quite well and had to wear some very fancy clothes, so she made them. Now she's in a nursing home and she's 99. 99. I will not be alive at 99. That will not be what I get to. No, when I write to her, I have to make the letters really big because As nearsighted and as deaf as I am, she's twice as bad. She is really bad. But she did call me today and send her love to everybody. And I found some of those, the pop-up cards at Temu, so I got one. I sent it to her, and she just flipped out. She's never seen one like that. Are you talking to me? I don't know if the snails that he gathers are the kind you eat or try not to touch because they're dangerous. You don't eat them right out of the... You have to clean them. I mean, like, you keep them alive and you feed them stuff to get them cleaned out. If that's something you're going to do with them. You just don't gather them and cook them. But I don't know if what he's gathering are the edible kind. Escargot. I've eaten escargot. I had it once where it was so good. I was like, oh my god, I wish I discovered these years ago. They were made with garlic and butter. And yeah, they stuff them back in the shells for serving. They're not cooked in the shells, I don't think. But then the next time I had them, they were done way differently. They were like in a little cassoulet, like a miniature casserole dish. And they were in there with some white wine sauce or something like that, and a pie crust over it. And I guess you were supposed to... Oh, you got the African snails. Oh my god. Yeah, I have got no idea if those are edible or not. I'm guessing they're not. Or they would be regularly featured as a food on the island. Because in France, they're considered a delicacy, and every good restaurant is able to prepare them. But they have people growing them for the restaurant, so it's a different kind of a thing. It's a crop. Yeah, that's what I thought. How about their shells? Do they have cool shells worth keeping? Oh god, that's a terrible idea. Some of these things are poisonous. You don't want them touching your skin. You don't want the slime on you. All snails are not created equal. They can get you very sick. So, ew. Yeah, I'd warn her about the centipedes, which are way worse. Now, you got dangerous shit in the tropics. People shouldn't mess around. You know, just say, be careful of the centipedes. You shall never sleep again. I feel like there should be little teeny flowers up in here, like they would be in real life. Little seeds. This reminds me of southernwood. Southernwood is a herbal plant that grows about my height, about 5 feet, and then the frilly ends. It's so ferny and soft, and if you touch it, it smells really good. Southernweed is kind of repellent to rabbits. Rabbits do not like southernweed, so trimming your garden with southernweed, which I don't think you can do in Maui. I loved growing southernweed. It just I planted around the well house, so I wouldn't have to look at the well house on the front lawn. And it's just such a refreshing light green, like a lime green in the summer. And it doesn't really put out flowers, excuse me, that you would pay attention to. They're kind of green. tiny, tiny green, but they make a lot of seeds, and they move so easily in the breeze. It's just such a nice plant to have on your property down south. And that's why that reminds me of southern weed. It grows wild down south, but if you want it to be in a specific place, you have to plant seeds. All right, it's almost 6 o'clock. It's time for me to go. Tomorrow is my creative circle with the community. So we do that, and then I come up here, have lunch, and then I see you. Tomorrow we are going to start on my purse. I found some styrofoam, and I cut it to the size that I need. And now I'm just going to have to like clear my desk and make room for that project, because it's going to be the same kind of style that I did for my first purse, but I want it to be larger and thicker. Oh, I will. It's fun. There's a half a dozen to, well, actually we've had as many as 9 people now. We've moved into 2 tables. And people do all kinds of stuff. Mostly coloring, but also people crochet. And like Maureen and I tomorrow are going to be doing needle felting stuff. I'm going to help her finish up her basket. I mean, her little bowl. I will be here. Oh, I want to get an earlier than usual start, so I'm going to try and be here by 1:30, 2 o'clock at the latest. Are you working tomorrow, or are you off? And what happened to that bitch? The nasty woman that everybody complained about in writing. Is she still there? We left off with, she was reported to HR. But we don't know what the outcome is, if she's going to keep her job. You're working till 2? Oh, that works out perfectly. When you're off work, you should find me here. She's still there. Has she changed her attitude? Has she gotten any, like, chill, or is she just more passive-aggressive? She's getting away with it again? Well, keep reporting it. Don't react to her. Just report it. Good. Well, she probably realized that she's about to lose her job. They're giving her another chance. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, when you get home, I should be on. Once I start working on that, I have to go for at least 2 hours straight before I can take a pause. And then that just means I'll be back at it first thing on Saturday. Yeah, stay positive. You look at what makes you happy, and when you find something that doesn't make you happy, look away. That's the whole turn the other cheek. Turning the other cheek, people keep misunderstanding. They think that Jesus said, turn the other cheek so you can be hit again. No, not at all. Turning the other cheek is to change your point of attraction, is to look elsewhere. Don't pay attention to the person who just hit you. Turn away from that person. Turn away from that pain and focus on that which you desire. And that's a constant thing that we have to just keep practicing, because the real world, the one we're creating, is so distracting and it's so attention grabbing. It's really hard to stay focused. That's why the ability to focus is such a powerful practice. So think about things you like. And when you're at work, you can look all over that store and you can look right at things that you did that you're proud of. So when you get some irritation in that store, turn your attention to the stuff you've already succeeded with doing perfectly. That you know it's better because of your input or because of your hands-on application. So you focus on the good and turn away. Turn away. Oops, that was not the right thing. How come the heart is right next to the pink poopy? Oh, good, good. That is important. Yes. It doesn't take up much room in your camera to have a record of what it should look like, what it looks like before you, etc., etc. You've seen your improvement. You've seen what you've done, and then you see how other person has screwed it up. So yes, keep records of that. That way you've got indisputable proof of your truth, right? Okay, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow. Or I'll be back tomorrow. You can count on me. You should be. You have worked hard at that job. You earned a raise. I'm still waiting to find out what happened with that raise that you were supposed to get. You damn well better get all the money that they were supposed to pay you and did not. So until tomorrow, dear.